So it's possible, of course, and all spiritual practice is really about transcending duality, moving from the physical to the spiritual. And that's, I guess, the goal that all of us want to move. And again, remember, we're not talking about fear the emotion, we're talking about fear the state. Now, in order for you to understand fear the state, I'll give you a great example. So you have an appointment with your boyfriend or girlfriend, okay? And just imagine, for those of you who are not in a relationship or planning to be in one, and you go to this restaurant, and this person you really feel is the person of your dreams, and you go to the cafe to meet them for a date. Now, when you get there, they tell you very awkwardly that they don't want to be with you anymore, that they've met somebody else, and that they're no longer in love with you, and they want to end the relationship. You are devastated. And so you leave the cafe and you get into your car, and you're crying by the time you get into your car. You're barely holding it together. Get into your car, you start the car, you start driving home, and things are so terrible. And it's, it starts to rain, and it's gray, and everything seems so depressing. And you get onto the highway, and there's a traffic jam that's all the way, and it's even more, you get so frustrated and just totally depressed. And you look out of your window, and there's a neighbor who's like, who looks at you, and you just kind of turn away. You don't want him to see that you're crying. And you fiddle with the radio, and you try to find something to play, but everything is so irritating. Even the words that the DJs on the radio are speaking are just annoying, and you just bash the radio. And it's just the worst drive home you've ever had in your life. Now, I want you to, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible situation, isn't it? Now let's go to the same cafe, and let's go and meet the same boyfriend or girlfriend. And now what they do is they say that they're so in love with you, and they want to be with you forever. Whether that looks like marriage for you or not, it doesn't matter. But they just realize that you are everything they've ever dreamed of. You're the most amazing person they've ever been with. Wow, you are on cloud 9. The person that you really dreamed of, you found them. The thing that you thought would never happen has happened. You leave that restaurant floating. As you leave the restaurant, you smile at anybody who passes by, you get into your car, you start the car, you start driving home. The rain starts falling, and you think, oh, so beautiful. And you notice that there's a rainbow out of one corner of the window. And then you get onto the highway, and there's a traffic jam, and you look out of the window at the person next to you who's looking at you, and you smile and you wave, and you see that they smile back. And then, you fiddle with the radio to put a song on, and there's so many wonderful songs on. So you listen to one, and then you listen to the DJ tell a story, and the story just touches you. And it's the best drive home you've ever had. Wow. The interesting thing about that situation is it's the same situation. Like, the drive home is exactly the same physical reality, but your experience of it is completely different, isn't it? It's crazy, isn't it, to think that we're having the same physical experience, but it's completely a different reality. And that's because in one situation, we're in a state of fear. Fear that we're not good enough, that life will never work out for us, that we have been broken up with and chosen because there's something wrong with us, that we'll never find love, that our life is completely a mess, that nothing's working. Those are all fears that have been triggered by a by a situation. In the other situation, we're in a state of love. I'm lovable. I'm worthy. Dreams can come true. My life is beautiful and wonderful. I've received more than I ever dreamed of. You see the difference?